What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening, people? What's going on a Monday? Hottest show in the streets. You know what time it is? We're giving you your Bama football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you all in here on a Monday. I know, coming to you from the home location after Super Bowl 58, the Chiefs getting the 25-22 win over the 49ers. You got former Alabama defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs, Big Bugsy, rocking that Super Bowl ring now. Buggs with an SEC championship ring at Alabama, a national championship ring at Alabama, and now a Super Bowl championship for the Kansas City Chiefs, but he represents the University of Alabama. So kudos there to one Isaiah Buggs. But we want you guys locked on the number one thing, number one show for all things Bama content-wise. Hit that like button, run those likes up, tap the like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Get crazy in the chat line, in the comment section, taking all chats, all comments tonight. We'll be back in studio on Wednesday. Back in the live studio on Wednesday. Appreciate all of you guys checking out the show. That daily super chat go $100 daily super chat going $100 right there. I appreciate that from every last one of you. It looks like Kane Womack, new defensive coordinator for Alabama, has got that whole swarm defense going there. There's a photo on social media inside the Alabama players facility. On the photo, on the graphic, it's Bama Swarm Defense. So Kane Womack coming over from South Alabama as its former head coach, already starting to stamp his name here on this defense for the upcoming season and for years to come with this 4-2-5 Swarm look here. But happy to have every last one of you guys in on the show. Get in here. Get your comments, get your thoughts in. Let's get this started by going to the chat line to see what a couple of you guys are already talking about, discussing here in the chat line. We start things off with my man, Don Parker, with that Roll Tide, everybody. Appreciate you, Don, hopping into the show. My man DP, Don Parker. We got Deborah Franklin writes in with the Roll Tide. Happy to have you here, Deborah, as well. We got my man Jeremy Matthews giving a Roll Tide to everybody. Roll Tide to you, Jeremy. Todd writes in, Roll Tide all. Roll Tide, everybody. Appreciate Todd coming in here. Sweet Home Bama 24 with the Roll Tide. Appreciate Sweet Home Bama 24 there. We got a Roll Tide from Lakeith Williams. Lakeith Williams with the Roll Tide roll. Appreciate Lakeith right there. Aaron McGuire with the Roll Tide roll. Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate that. We got Jonathan McMillan with the Roll Tide roll. Jonathan, we appreciate that coming from you. Stephen Hicks comes in. Roll Tide, Bama Nation. If you're not wearing crimson, you don't matter. So Stephen Hicks picking up that Malachi Moore NIL there. Don Parker showing that love there for Steve and his comment right there. My man Steve Hicks giving that best Malachi Moore impersonation right there. So gotta love that. We got Steve Hicks showing the love back to Don Parker there. Absolutely. Then we got Hammer Studios with the hello, Steven. Hammer Studios, appreciate you coming in here, starting us off with the show. We got here Jeremy Matthews. To all the Bama fans, we're going to be okay. Losing Ryan Grubb is not going to hurt us because Kalen DeBoer ran the offense, referring to Washington. Kalen DeBoer did run the offense at Washington, Jeremy, but there's another reason as to why Bama fans should not be discouraged by losing Ryan Grubb to the NFL, and I'll get into that in just a moment here. Don Parker writes back in, where is everyone from? Greetings and Roll Tide from Washington, D.C. So my man DP, I always say he's from the D.C. area, wanting to know where everybody else is from. Veen Holly writes in, I didn't know Bama play Alabama. I didn't know any Alabama played yesterday. Well, Veen, in the Super Bowl, you had two alums from the University of Alabama in the Super Bowl. No, they did not play. Cameron Latu, representing Alabama for the San Francisco 49ers, he's on injured reserve. And then you have Isaiah Buggs representing the Crimson Tide for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's on the practice squad. So it was Buggs that got fitted for his Super Bowl ring with the Kansas City Chiefs there. So that was the news from yesterday. Jonathan McMillan announcing he's from Montgomery, Alabama. We got the Gump in here. McMillan from Montgomery, Alabama. Sweet Home Bama 24, being from Austin, Texas. Texas in the house there. Sweet Home Bama 24. Stephen Hicks says he's in Mississippi by the way of Alabama. In Mississippi, by the way of Alabama, Stephen Hicks and Todd out of Mobile, Alabama. So everybody continue to get your thoughts in on the show. We appreciate each and every last one of you being involved, getting in here. Absolutely, absolutely. What's up to everybody? We start the first topic of conversation. And, I mean, of course, the Crimson Tide losing two assistant coaches to NFL jobs. We've all heard the news by now, but if you were sleeping under a rock, if you didn't get the information across the ticker, if you are not made aware of what's going on with Alabama football, allow me to fill you in. So, Ryan Grubb, offensive coordinator, 47 years of age, who decided to follow Kalen DeBoer from Washington to the University of Alabama. He had an event with the Red Elephant Club inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, where Ryan Grubb infamously said, I am your offensive coordinator. I'm going to be right here at the University of Alabama. I am your offensive coordinator. Well, we all found that to not be true, as just a few days later, news comes out. He's been finalized to be the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. So he has taken the NFL job. Now, of course, not only does he take the job, he pulls a just briefly brand new Alabama offensive line coach Scott Huff with him. Scott Huff, who was the O-line coach at Washington under Kalen DeBoer, who helped the Huskies win the Joe Moore Award for the nation's top offensive line. He follows Ryan Grubb to the Seattle Seahawks. So there it is right there. I mean, Ryan Grubb leaves Alabama to go to take an NFL job, and he takes Scott Huff, poaching Scott Huff, taking him with him being Ryan Grubb to the NFL. So when that happened, of course, a lot of us as Alabama football consumers are going, why does this deal keep happening? You sign your name on the dotted line to be the head, to be an assistant coach here where the Crimson Tide program is concerned. You don't even get down here to at least go through spring ball with these guys. You don't even give yourself a chance to fill out a full season with this team. What is the issue here? What is the problem here? Why do you sit there and say, I'm going to be the Alabama offensive coordinator. I'm going to be a coach on the staff. I'm going to be an assistant under Kalen DeBoer. And then you go and you take a position coach job in the National Football League, which it kind of is what it is. And even with Grubb, taking the job, why do you have to go back and take the offensive line coach with you? I mean, can you just take the job for yourself? Why did you have to reach back and grab the O-line coach and bring him with you? So a lot of thoughts here going through the minds of us as Alabama football consumers and fans, and I myself from the media perspective. But that was the news for all of you who were probably under a rock somewhere and didn't get the information on the ticker, or you probably were not watching the TV at the time, or whatever the case may be. That was the news. So Ryan Grubb takes the offensive coordinator position for the Seattle Seahawks, and he decided to reach back, grab Scott Huff, offensive line coach, who came in for probably wanted more than just a cup of coffee, but he came in for that same cup of coffee as Ryan Grubb, and now he leaves to be the offensive line coach for the Seattle Seahawks. So now, Alabama Nation, we're in a situation where we're asking ourselves who becomes the new offensive line coach, because you're inching closer and closer to spring practice. I believe it's on either March 4th or March 5th, the beginning of spring ball. Who becomes the offensive coordinator? Who becomes the offensive line coach? There's two positions that need to be filled here if you are Alabama football. But Kalen DeBoer, the information that I was seeing and reading and being made known about, Kalen DeBoer kind of knew this was going to happen. He was under the impression that Ryan Grubb may take this move and go over to the NFL and dip out. Kalen DeBoer kind of had a thought in the back of his mind that this could possibly happen. So because he had a thought in the back of his mind that this can possibly happen, I, for one, see Kalen DeBoer already knowing what his next move is going to be, who his next coach is going to be, in terms of what the next hire could, ensue here. So we're going to talk about that once we come back from the break and get into your comments. So right now we're going to take a quick break here, short break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we're going to go to your comments, your thoughts in the chat line, get those things pumped up, get those things going, taking all of your questions in the chat. But for right now, let's go to our partners, Alumni Hall, Midtown Village, Tuscaloosa. Check out what our guys have. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out. Absolutely, folks. Absolutely. Our guys, Alumni Hall, Midtown Village, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They got that gear, that TDA gear for you. Check it out. Get there. Be a part of what they have going on. But we jump to the comments right now to get your thoughts here on the show. Appreciate every last one of you for hopping in here. We continue with conversations here. And we got K-Spray1 writing in, "What's up, Steve? What's going on with you, K-Spray? Happy to have you in here." We got Bryant Wells with the RTR Roll Tide Roll. Appreciate that from Bryant Wells there. Dean Mitchell writes in, "Will we keep Sheridan and Shepard?" Yes, Alabama will, Dean. Alabama is expected to keep, the Crimson Tide will keep Nick Sheridan and Jamarcus Shepard on the coaching staff. So Coach Sheridan and Coach Shepard will remain with the Crimson Tide under Kalen DeBoer. That is a definite. Bryant Wells writes back in, "Tuscaloosa, Alabama, home of the Crimson Tide, land of the champions." Absolutely. Where the legends are made here at the University of Alabama. Going back to Dean Mitchell here, who might DeBoer go after to be the new O-line coach? Dean, good question. I will have your answer for you in the second topic of conversation. The answer's coming in the second call, in the second topic of conversation. Got a chance to talk to a couple of people. This is sourced down, close guys I trust in the program, kind of feeding me some names here and some information. So we'll get that right to you. Second topic of conversation. Don Parker writes in, "I don't mind Grubb leaving, but I am a bit old school. If you give your word, you stick to it and don't go back on it or don't give in. Your word is your bond, Don. Absolutely. Your word is your bond. We can only go off of how good your word is. And once again, Ryan Grubb was there at the Red Elephant event, and Brian Denny looked in the eye of the people, looked in the eye of the head boosters and said, I am Alabama's offensive coordinator, and had everybody going along with it. And then only for a few days later for him to be finalized as the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I get it. People jump ship. I get it. People land different jobs. I get it. But we cannot sit here and get upset when these athletes hit the portal and go elsewhere when they're seeing coaches jump from job to job. The players are only seeing what the coaches are doing. The players are only doing what they're seeing the guys that are supposed to be their examples modeling for them. So if players are seeing coaches go from job to job, what's being modeled to them? Hey, hit the portal. Hit the portal. So you can't get mad at these kids if they're seeing this is what the coaches are doing, hopping from job to job here. Let's go down to Todd. More concerned with the O-line coach than losing Grubb. Not just anyone can coach the O-line. Todd, good point there. And that goes back to, Scott Huff, following DeBoer from Washington to Alabama, had the Huskies offensive line as the Joe Moore Award winner for the nation's top offensive unit. So Scott Huff can stump down coach offensive lineman. And yeah, that one stings, because you would think, okay, Grubb, if you're going to go, you just go. Don't take the O-line coach with you. I mean, if you're going to exit stage left, okay, you exit stage left, that's fine. Don't take the O-line coach with you stage left, but that's what happened. That's absolutely what happened right there. Philip Key writes in, yeah, the timing was so bad on that. But the timing was bad. I mean, it was bad, especially with you just got the OC, you just got the O-line coach. You're making all of these good hires, especially in recruiting. And then you have this Red Elephant Club meeting. You get your OC in front of the biggest boosters that be at the program. And he tells you to your face, I'm the Alabama offensive coordinator, only to then do a complete 180 and go elsewhere. So, yes, it was bad timing. Absolutely bad timing there. Let's see here. We continue here with Deborah Franklin. They just don't like the South. Deborah, you could have a point there, Deborah. You could have a point there. You could absolutely, Deborah. You know what, Deborah? Put a pin in that one. You may actually have a point there. You may actually Deborah, are they allergic to sugar and grits? Are they? I mean, are they allergic to sugar and grits, Deborah? If they're allergic to sugar and grits, then, sometimes you just gotta let them go. Are they allergic to collard greens and cornbread, Deborah? If they're allergic to collard greens, cornbread, and fried chicken, get them out of here. Get them out of here. Let them walk out the door. Absolutely. Jeremy Matthews writes in, Shepard and Sheridan, co-offensive coordinators, that's been tossed out there. That's been tossed out there. Shepard and Sheridan, co-OCs, that's definitely been tossed out there. Damon Davis writes in, roll Tide, everyone. And of course, he's giving the middle finger there to Ryan Grubb. He should have hired his own coaches, shaking my head. Grubb should have hired his own coaches, but you're already seeing you as the Alabama Nation giving the royal treatment there to Ryan Grubb there as he is out of the door there. Let's see here. Todd writes in, I have heard Eric Bieniemy's name floated around today for OC. LOL, so many names being thrown around. I haven't heard Eric Bieniemy's name. Now, if his name is really thrown in here for Alabama's next offensive coordinator, that's going to be crazy if his name's actually in there. Because seeing what he did in the early years of Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, I mean, if Eric B's name is really thrown in there, oh, man, That's going to be stomped down crazy if that's the case. Like I said, I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't heard it. But if his name is thrown out there as Ty, I'm gonna do some digging after seeing this. I'm gonna do some digging now. If Eric Bieniemy's name is really tossed in here, that could be insane. Dean Mitchell writes in, Grubb had been with DeBoer a long time, somewhat surprised he left. That's the big thing, Dean. I mean, Ryan Grubb was with DeBoer at Sioux Falls. He was with DeBoer at Indiana. He was with DeBoer at Fresno State. He was with DeBoer at Washington. So it's kind of weird here to see this happen here. He was with DeBoer all of his time and then dipped. Andre Baraka writes in, Debo can't afford this. First T-Rob issue, second Julian Sand issue, and now Grubb and Huff gone while you are trying to sell a vision. Not good at all on Debo's. It was not good. Well, I'll say this. I don't put T-Rob on DeBoer. I put T-Rob on Greg Byrne. The first thing Greg Byrne should have done upon Nick Saban announcing I'm retiring, what Greg Byrne should have done before even getting DeBoer, Greg Byrne should have went right down to T-Rob's office and said, T-Rob, look, son, look, brother, no matter who we hire, you are our defensive guy. Book it. No matter who we bring in here, we are signing you to a new contract. You are our defensive guy. Whoever we bring in here, they are not bringing their defensive coordinator. You are the defense. That's on Greg Byrne more than DeBoer, in my opinion. Now, Julian saying, Grubb and Huff going, that's debatable. You can put that on King and DeBoer. That's debatable. But T-Rob, I look at that as more so Greg Byrne than anything else. I mean, that's just me. Let's see here. Dean Mitchell writes in, O-line coach hire needs to be big. I'm going to get into that more, Dean. I'm going to get into that more. There's a name out there that I'm going to say this. There's a name out there that's big. It's big. And it would be really good if Alabama can get this guy right here. Let's see. Ty Alexander writes in, Grubb never wanted to come here. He came as a favor to Coach DeBoer to keep recruits and help out. As soon as the portal closed and National Signing Day was over, he left. Everyone knew. Interesting thought right there from Ty Alexander. Interesting thought right there. I can see that. Very interesting thought right there coming from Ty Alexander. But you guys continue to get your thoughts in here. Continue to get your thoughts in here, people. Want to hear everything that you have to say right here on this show. We're going to get into topic number 2 here of the conversation. That's geared toward the names that could replace with Alabama, the names that could replace Huff and Ryan Grubb here in terms of King and DeBoer and Alabama football. So the names that could replace Huff and Ryan Grubb. Starting off with Ryan Grubb as the OC. The big name being floated out there is Kirby Moore, the younger brother of Kellen Moore. Kirby Moore, offensive coordinator for the University of Missouri. The Tigers had a big year last season under Eli Drinkwitz, finished 11-2, including beating Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. Kirby Moore played a big part in that. Moore produced a 3,000-yard quarterback this past season, a 1,000-yard running back, and Cody Schrader, and also a 1,000-yard receiver as well. So Missouri's offense played big a season ago, and Kirby Moore was a big part of that. Here's a young man that, much like his brother Kellen Moore, he played at Boise State, was a wide receiver there, big time with wide receivers, but knows offense, has been a passing game coordinator, has been an offensive quality control coach. Kirby Moore has done some of everything on the offensive side of the ball and has elevated himself to wide receiver, to offensive coordinator at Missouri. He also spent time at Fresno State and Indiana with King and DeBoer. So Kirby Moore is somebody that Coach DeBoer is familiar with. He knows, vibes with, has spent a coaching stop with. Here's a name right here. And we all know how sharp Kellen Moore is. Kellen Moore's a sharp guy. Remember, he was record-setting quarterback at Boise State. Sharp offensive mind is Kellen Moore. So here comes his younger brother, Kirby Moore. Sharp offensive mind, knows what he's doing, has climbed through the ranks, has rapport with Kellen DeBoer. This past season at Missouri, did some big things to that Tiger program. So he's a name right there. If you don't go Kirby Moore, then what's been tossed out here is you do a co-OC thing with two guys already on staff, that being Jamarcus Shepard and the coach Nick Sheridan. You do a co-OC thing there. You have Coach Sheridan be the play caller and work with quarterbacks. Coach Sheridan was an offensive coordinator, I think 2021 and 2022. Well, 2020 and 2021, Sheridan was the offensive coordinator at Indiana. 2020 and 2021, he was the OC. When Kalen DeBoer left Indiana, Nick Sheridan became the offensive coordinator. So he's got some experience already calling offenses. He was the OC at Indiana. So he's been through the ranks as well on the offensive side of the ball there. So you would have Sheridan as your play caller, as your quarterback's coach, and you would have Jamarcus Shepard as the co-OC and wide receivers coach, who would continue to work with that wide receiver room. Now, Jamarcus Shepard was a co-OC and passing game coordinator from 2018 to 2021 at Purdue. So he has experience there about offense as well. So Shepard knows offense. Sheridan knows offense. If DeBoer wants to do this, if he's feeling this, if he likes to go in this area, he can do a co-OC deal with Sheridan being the play caller, being the quarterback coach, and Jamarcus Shepard as a co-OC and wide receivers coach. Now, in terms of Scott Huff, the only name that's been brought up to me is Brandon Jones, the O-line coach at Missouri. Brandon Jones, he played offensive line. He was a center at Texas Tech in the mid-2000s. He's risen up the ranks as an O-line coach. Has been some of everywhere coaching that position, including his alma mater at Texas Tech. Of his past season at Missouri, really did a strong job with that offensive unit. So there you have Brandon Jones. So Brandon Jones could be your offensive line coach if you choose to go that route and target him from Missouri. And for your OC, you could get Kirby Moore from Missouri, or you could also do the co-OC deal with Nick Sheridan and Jamarcus Shepard. Just depends on what does Kalen DeBoer want to do and what direction is he trying to go after. As more names come to me, as I continue to get more information, I will definitely pass all of this on to you, the Alabama football fans, but that has been made known to me and aware to me at this time in terms of who could replace, who could take over for the departed Ryan Grubb and Scott Huff. But we're going to jump back into your comments here. We're going to jump back into the conversation, taking your thoughts in the chat line. Get your comments in here. We're reading as many as we possibly can here for tonight's show. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's look here. We're going to GT18. GT18 writes in, Roll Tide fam, Grubb or not, we still rolling. That's GT18 with his thought there. Thunderstruck with a Roll Tide roll. Appreciate Thunderstruck getting his thoughts in on the show. We move down to Tab Jr. Tab Jr. writes in, I think Kirby Moore in Missouri a better choice. I like Kirby Moore. Like I said, younger brother than Kellen Moore. A lot of experience so far as a young guy running offense. He's sharp, he's bright, he's brilliant, he's creative, he's innovative. I like what Kirby Moore does. Did some big things with Missouri just this past season. If Kalen DeBoer looks in that direction, here's a young man that has a rapport with Coach DeBoer. He's been around him. That'll be somebody that I would cast my net out there to. Don Parker writes in, one thing that is missing in college football is integrity. I don't blame Coach Saban for retiring. I don't blame Coach Saban either, because this was happening with Coach Saban. Coach Saban would hire assistant coaches. They would tell Coach, I'm here with you for the long haul. I'm rocking with you for the long haul. And they would be with Coach Saban a year or two and then dip. If you remember, I think it was between 2017 and 2018. Remember when Alabama had Josh Gaddis in here? And Gaddis was supposed to have been the next OC, and he jumped ship to Michigan. And then Saban turned the attention to, well, I guess I'll bump up Dan Enos. Dan Enos cleans out his locker. He jumps ship and goes elsewhere. And Saban's like, my God, can I trust anybody around here? So this has been going on even while Saban was the head coach here for the Crimson Tide. So definitely do not blame Saban for retiring. It is hard to find good help sometimes. Dean Mitchell writes in, I like Kirby more too. Don't know if that would happen or not. I like Kirby more. It's going to be interesting to see if Bama goes after him, how much will Missouri put up to keep him? That's the big thing. Because normally when Alabama wants to go after a coach, the current program, the current job that coach is at, they put up the money to keep their guy. I mean, prime example, you go back to Saban retiring, there was fillers out there who, hey, it's going to be Dan Lanning. And even though Dan Lanning never even came down to Alabama, you had Oregon put the money up. We're going to keep our guy. Then there was the thought process, well, maybe Alabama gets Steve Sarkisian. What happens? Texas puts that money up. They dig up another oil rig. We're keeping Sarknado right here down here in Austin, Texas. Sark stays in Austin, Texas. Then there were thoughts of, well, maybe Alabama can go get Mike Norvell from Florida State. What happens? Florida State puts that money up. Hey, Mike, you ain't going nowhere. So it's crazy when Alabama targets a coach, the program that coach is currently at, they put the money up fast. So it's going to be interesting to see if Kalen DeBoer goes in the direction of Kirby Moore, how much does Missouri try to pony that money up to keep Kirby Moore put there in Missouri? It is going to get very intriguing here to see how that happens. Dean Mitchell writes back in, spring starts in about 3 weeks. Need to name an OC. Need to name the OC and the O-line coaches this week. Spring football, is coming quick. It's coming quick. It's coming fast, and he's got a name who the guy is in terms of the OC and the offensive line coach. It's going, man. Appreciate you guys for all of you guys getting in here. Thanos Howard writes in, when you have a good product, someone is always trying to take away what you got. My team is the same way. When you have a good product, people try to poach it. When you have a product, people try to poach it. Absolutely. We got GT18. Grubb got invited to the barbecue, fixed him a plate, and left. Man, you can't do that. That's exactly what happened, GT. Grubb got invited to the barbecue. He fixed him a plate, got him a little bit of that crab boil, got him some meat and potatoes, got him some collard greens, little cornbread, fix up his plate, probably grabbed him the beer or something to drink there, and Grubb left. That's what he did. And you can't sit there and seat yourself down to the barbecue when you knew you were not going to stay. What's the point of coming to the barbecue if you ain't going to stay to hear the stories? What's the point of coming? That's what happened. Grubb came to the barbecue, and we can go through it after the barbecue was over, but it's okay. It's all right. Bama Lee writes in, Grubb left because his wife didn't want to move to Alabama and family wanted to stay in Washington. I could see that too, though. I could see that too, though. I mean, I mean, happy wife, happy life is a real thing. And if your spouse did not want to make that move, I can see that. So that probably Bama Lee, or more so definitely played a role in Grubb's decision there. Todd writes in, I think T-Rob was mad he wasn't looked at to replace Saban. He was offered the DC position. He was offered the DC position. Now, was T-Rob ready to replace Saban? I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that he was ready to replace Saban. Absolutely not. But he was offered the DC position. I mean, Kalen DeBoer got him on the phone and tried to offer it to him. My thing was with T-Rob was, did he feel like he wasn't offered the DC position first? That's the thing. Was he not offered the DC position first before DeBoer got in? But at this point, that's neither here nor there. We gotta have a shout out to my man DJ Webb on the track painting. DJ Webb with that $5.99 in the super chats. Appreciate that from DJ Webb making that donation, helping us out here on the show. We got Andre Baraka writing in. Yeah, Kirby Moore seems like a safe bet. He does. I would take Kirby Moore. I would. Once again, it comes down to, though, if Kalen DeBoer goes that route, how quickly does Mizzou put the money out there on it? Right? If Kalen DeBoer goes that route and says, we got to get Kirby Moore in here, how much does Missouri have and its NIL collective to possibly try to keep Kirby Moore? It's going to be an interesting sort of tug of war there. Let's see. GT18 writes in, I would take Moore. That Missouri offense was good. Probably fall in line with what Coach KD wants to do offensively. Right. Well, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see what takes place, what takes place. All of you guys writing in. Don Parker writes in, we also have to keep in mind that Kyle Shanahan may be available tomorrow for OC. Don? Kyle Shanahan? Now, Don. Woo! Now, I'll say this, though. Shanahan, it's kind of eating at him right now because you have a shot to win the Super Bowl 2016 with a Julio Jones in his prime with the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan, and that got choked away. In the last 2 years, San Fran has been in the Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan as the head coach, especially with this roster stacked to the deck with talent, Pro Bowlers, all-pro guys, a few first-team or first-ballot Hall of Famers, and you still couldn't get that done. I wouldn't mind Shanahan as Alabama's OC, but it's just for some reason, Shanahan, the big prize, got to be able to win the big prize, and that's the Super Bowl. Got to be able to win the big prize. In college football, the big prize is the college football playoff national championship, right? So, Shanahan 0 for 3 in the big prize in terms of the Super Bowl. But maybe college football could be the very spot for him. Don't know. We'll have to see. That's interesting. Kyle Shanahan would Kyle Shanahan be available? That's going to be real interesting. Let's see. Brian Watson writes in RTR, hearing about Jamie Chadwell for OC. Not a bad target. Thoughts? Now, Chadwell was at Coastal Carolina. He was really good. Coastal Carolina, he was really good. I mean, Jamie Chadwell at Coastal Carolina was a good coach, really good coach. And he wouldn't be a bad option, Brian. He wouldn't be. Would he fall in line with Coach DeBoer's vision? We'll have to see. I think he would fall in line with the vision. But Coach Chadwell is a very interesting name, though. I keep an eye on that one. That would not be a bad name there. Who do you, Stephen M. Smith, like to see DeBoer hire as OC? Me personally, I would like to see him hire Dean Kirby Moore. I would like to see him go after Kirby Moore. That'd be the hire I would like to see. I like to see that hire be made. Or if you don't hire Kirby Moore, I wouldn't mind the Jamie Chadwell look either. But first and foremost, I will make my pitch there to Kirby Moore. That's how I make my pitch to. If I couldn't get Kirby Moore, then you do the co-OC deal with with Nick Sheridan and Jamarcus Shepard. But here's my thing. Of all the names that have been thrown out there, here's my thing. Of all the names thrown out there, Dean, why hasn't nobody mentioned bring back Alex Mortensen? Bring Mort back. I mean, Mort is over there at UAB doing work there for the Blazers under Trent Dilfer. Why not bring back Mort? I mean, the son of ESPN's Chris Mortensen, bring Alex Mortensen back. Do people not realize he was on the staff when you had Blake Sims at quarterback, Jacob Coker at quarterback, Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback, Mac Jones at quarterback, Bryce Young? Mort was here for all of that. And behind the scenes, it was Mort putting together a lot of that game plan. I know he was under the tag of offensive analyst, but my God, Alex Mortensen behind the scene was the brainchild for a lot of that there. He was the brainchild for a lot of that there. So I'm just saying, there's a name that probably should be thrown in, Alex Mortensen. Now, I'm not saying you get him, but that's a name that should be thrown in there. Don Parker, I know you're joking about Shanahan. I know you're joking about Shanahan. Woo! I mean, that's a name, DP. But I knew you were joking there about Shanahan. But boy, if you were able to get Shanahan, that'd be crazy. Dear God, that'd be crazy if you were able to get Shanahan. Nona Davis writes in, hello, all my Bama fam. Whatever happens, roll tide, regardless, roll tide, roll. Bama girl in Cali, in California, known absolutely, regardless of what happens, still roll tide, still Alabama football, period, regardless of what happens. It stings that Grubb decided to go and take Coach Huff with him, but Kalen DeBoer has a plan. He has his names listed up of who he could go to. So we will see that. We will see that. Roll Tide and rise up. I don't want a Kirby. Then we'll have to hear Georgia fans talking about we're copying them. I don't want to hear nothing from them. Roll Tide. Okay, there is an interesting thought there. I don't want a Kirby because then Georgia fans are going to say, now y'all copying us. Hey, there we go. So there's a perspective from Roll Tide and rise up there. There's a perspective. Dexter Wright, call him up, Stephen M. Hey, look, I would not mind having Alex Mortensen back in here. I would not mind having Mort back in here because of what he was able to do. I wouldn't mind having Mort back in here. Let's see here. Dexter writes back in. Matt Luke would be a great hire as O-line coach. Matt Luke, okay, look. For all the junk that Matt Luke got when he was the head coach at Ole Miss, Matt, I've said this before. Not everybody is born to be a head coach, to be a CEO. Not everybody's born to be a head coach. Some people were born to be coordinators. They were born to craft an offense, craft a defense, right? And then some people were just born position coaches. Matt Luke is a dynamic O-line coach. He wasn't meant to be a head coach. He wasn't meant to be a coordinator, but he was meant to work with them big men in the trenches. That's where Matt Luke has had his most success in his career, coaching offensive line. I think he'd be a home run move. Matt Luke would be a home run move. Now I would like that move. I would like that move. Matt Luke would be a fantastic move for O-line. That would be Greg Byrne. If you can hear me right now, Matt Luke, there you go. Just saying, Matt Luke would do a great job. He would be a very good hire for this offensive line. I mean, because I'm just saying, Alabama hasn't had an O-line coach that you as the Bama Nation have gotten behind. I mean, Bama had Stoutland, who was really good, Jeff Stoutland. And then you had Cristobal, who was really good. And then you had Kyle Flood was really good. Bama need one of them back. Bama need one of them back. Bama need a Stoutland, a Flood, my God, a Stoutland, Flood, a Crystal Ball, a Joe Pendry, one of them guys back. Matt Luke is one of them type of guys. Tough, hard-nosed, physical, SEC, born, bred, knows it. Very good teacher of the offensive line. I would love Matt Luke back here. Man, I would love him in here. Absolutely. Andre Baraka writes in, wow, I forgot that name, Stephen. Matt Luke. I mean, he's good. He's good. Wasn't meant to be a head coach. I understand it. He wasn't meant to be a head coach. Not everybody is. Wasn't meant to be a coordinator. Not everybody is. Matt Luke, a really good offensive line coach. Let's see here. GT18, Joe Pendry, miss him. Miss Joe Pendry? Yeah, Joe Pendry. T. Cole writes in, what about Garrett Riley? Now, I wouldn't mind him as an OC. I know Clemson has not been good for him so far. I wouldn't mind Garrett Riley, especially after, what he did for TCU. He got him into the championship game, though they got obliterated and treated like a motherless child against Georgia, but that's besides the point. He got him into the championship game, so wouldn't mind Garrett Riley. Let's see here. Don Parker writes in, Coach Pendry had them boys right. For real, though. Old school Joe had them boys rocking. Old school Pendry had them boys rocking. Jeremy Sanders. A.J. Milwee. There's another name that was once at Bama as an offensive analyst that's incredibly sharp. A.J. Milwee. There's another one. I wouldn't mind having back. Andre Baraka writes back in, whoever they get O-line coach, please have South SEC ties. You need to have it. I mean, you got to have it. Got to have ties to the South. Got to have ties to the Southeastern Conference. Got to know how to recruit. Absolutely. Gotta know how to recruit. So, absolutely. Roll Tide and rise up with an interesting thought here. I think Dabo is stunting Riley. I think Dabo still has and wants full control. So, Roll Tide and rise up is saying that Dabo Swinney hindering the growth of Garrett Riley. And if that's the case, then you definitely need to look at Garrett Riley then. If Dabo Swinney is hindering this man's growth in terms of being the offensive coordinator he needs to be. Jason Dozier writes in, Dan Mullen. I knew somebody was going to throw Dan Mullen's name in here. And Jason Dozier has got his name on the bingo card. I knew somebody was going to throw Dan Mullen's name in here. Dan Mullen. Oh, Dan. Wouldn't mind, Dan. Wouldn't mind it, but not now. Not now. Not Dan Mullen. Not Dan Mullen now. Not Dan Mullen. Don Parker writes in, Stephen, let's see here. Stephen, it would not surprise me if they brought Eric Wolf, if they bring Eric Wolford back. It would shock the mess out of me if they brought Eric Wolford back, Don. I'm just being honest. It would shock the mess out of me if they brought Eric Wolford back. No goodness. Stephen Murray 19 writes in, Shepard for OC, Luke for O-line coach. I like that. I like that, Steve Murray. I like it. Shepard for OC, Matt Luke for O-line coach. I like it. Get it done. I like it. I like it. Get it done in here. Absolutely. But man, it's spring ball's coming, people. Spring ball's coming. I definitely do not want Eric Wolford back. No. Just not it. No. So, but you guys continue to get your thoughts in. Get your thoughts in here on the show. Get your comments in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Andre Baraka writes back in, why doesn't Coach Debo hire more Saban coaches? All he has is Gillespie and Roach on the core staff. Well, he also has he's also got strength coach David Ballou from Saban staff right here. So you got David Ballou still on. I would have liked for him to have kept Joe Cox, the tight ends coach, but it is what it is. Kind of just is what it is. DeBoer is going to bring in guys that he has ties with. He mentioned he's going to do this thing his way, so he's going to bring in coaches that he has ties with, he has a relationship with, he's got a rapport with. But I appreciate all of you guys giving your thoughts here on the show. We're going to take a quick break here, and after we come back from break, we're going to get into our final topic of conversation, folks. Don't touch that dial. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out. Absolutely, folks. Absolutely. Get you that gear. Alumni Hall. Our partners right there. Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciate what they do. Midtown Village here in Tuscaloosa. But final topic of conversation on this evening, folks, as we wrap it up here on a Monday. You got a lot of these national media pundits kind of, I guess, panicking when it comes down to Alabama. I don't necessarily know why they're panicking, but it's just this real kind of panicky vibe they're giving off right now. When you look at, Alabama football, and if you listen to them, it's like, well, Nick Saban's retired now, and you don't know how good Alabama's gonna be, and Kalen DeBoer lost these coaches, and he lost so many players to the transfer portal, and Alabama will be fortunate if they win 8 or 9 games. It's not going to be the same without Coach Saban. Bama's not going to have the same mystique. A lot of panic, and I'm like, really? Like, this roster still one of, if not top 3 talented roster in the country right now. You got 4 quarterbacks in the room, including your returning starter in Jalen Milroe. You got 3 of the top 5 running backs back, which Justice Haynes, Jam Miller, and Richard Young. You return 3 offensive linemen with experience back, Tyler Booker, Elijah Pritchett, Jaden Roberts. You got several wide receivers back. I know Jermaine Burton pursuing the draft. I know Isaiah Bond hit the portal. I know Shaz Preston hit the portal. But you still have Kobe Prentice. You still have Kendrick Law. You still have Jalen Hale and Jaron Hamilton. You still have Emmanuel Henderson and Cole Adams. And then you got Gurmey Bernard from the portal from Washington. And then you sign guys as freshmen at tight end. I mean, yes, you lost Miles Kitson into the portal and Amari Niblack to the portal, but you still brought back C.J. Dupree. You still brought back Robbie Uche. You got Caleb Odom, and that kid's a stud. As a flat stud as an incoming freshman. And then defensively, you got several pieces back. Yes, you lost some guys, but you got several pieces back. And you got young players hungry to get out there on the field and make some shake. And here's the big thing. Bama is back at a point where it's got something to prove again. Remember, 2008, 2009 Bama was Bama with something to prove in the early years of Nick Saban. It was Bama with something to prove, with something to show in the early years of Coach Saban. We're now back to that. Bama's got something to prove now. 3 years, no national championship. 3 years, people are saying, well, Bama's not it no more. Now Saban's retired, Kalen DeBoer, why was this coach hired? You lost so many players. You lost so many pieces. You lost this. You lost that. Here is Bama with something to prove again on a national stage and on a national scale. And when you're facing an Alabama team that's got something to prove on a national scale, that Bama team usually shows up and shows out. This is going to be a very fun spring, a very intriguing spring practice. This is going to be a very fun A-Day, a very intriguing A-Day. This is an Alabama program with something to prove, to show the people that are panicking out there, hey, chill out, calm down. There, I got folks panicking out there. I was reading a news article. I just don't know about Bama. I just don't know. They lost so much stuff. Chill out, man. Take some steps off the ledge, bro. Take some steps all the way off the ledge. This is a program that has been at its best when people have doubted it severely. This is going to be very fun to see what Coach KD and the rest of the staff here put together. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, material on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. People will be back. I'll be back in studio Wednesday, taking your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Can't wait to be back with you guys in the Birmingham area on Wednesday. But until next time, folks, I want to appreciate all of you for commenting in, chatting in, donating in, making this your show, your spot for all things Bama football, even with me being from the home location on today. Thanks to all of you guys rocking with me right here. Till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words. Have a great night, everybody.